Wednesday night. That's right, it's Titan Esports, and of course it's got to be Lamb and Crims bringing you all the action to the conclusion of the regular season. Crims, tell them who we're casting over tonight.
Oh, we have a real prime matchup for you guys here. It is, of course, Dorado Gaming Epsilon versus Rubber Ducky Gaming. These are top of the pack teams, and honestly, there are some implications of this match over wins. Might have the chance to take that top spot. We haven't done the math exactly just yet, but I think it is up for takes today.
Up for takes. The stakes could not be higher. For bragging rights, of course, both of these organizations are going to cement their place in that playoffs. Finishing first place is a little bit more enticing to round off the regular season. You can say for Dorado Gaming Epsilon, probably looked the utmost best team in Conqueror this season, Crims. Phenomenal. Every single game, so clean, so concise. Just everything is great about this team. Now, I want to touch on Rubber Ducky Gaming. They've only fallen once this season. They're sitting 5-1, right? So they can even up the standings. They actually lost in the week one against Queen's Revenge. That was a long time ago. We're not talking about that. That train keeps on chugging, and it's looking to end at the last station, which is first place this season. Can they do it?
That is a very important question to answer. And Dorado Gaming, I think, I'm just going to say it. I think they're the ones who stand to win. They might just pull off the perfect record in the single round robin. However, if they do lose 2-0, that number one spot is going to be challenged. And then we're going to have to do some figuring out if who is going to win. So right now, I'm just going to lay it down for you. All right. Rubber Ducky Gaming, they're that 5-1. Dorado Gaming Epsilon 6-0. But if they win 2-0, they're going to catch up in overall record and game record. So that's going to put that in contention here. And I got it right before the draft started, I swear.
I believe you. Don't worry. I believe you. I'm not going to throw you under the bus today, man. We're going to have a good one today. Lamb and Crims, baby. You know we're bringing you all the heat and Titan Esports Wednesday action. Now, for anybody who is interested as well, the only team to drop Rubber Ducky Gaming was Queen's Revenge. I believe they'll finish 5th in the standings. They got a free win today from Glaive Black because they forfeited the rest of the season. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but they cement their place in the season. So that's going to be good for them. We're really flying through the bands here. That's going to be taken away. Viego, Gangplank, Jax. Traditional bands going across here. You can say that the Gangplank is going to be interesting as well. But where do you see the win condition for Rubber Ducky Gaming? Because they have to come into this, Crims, as the underdogs.
Yeah, they are the underdogs, but I wouldn't put them that much under here, Lamb. I mean, Dorado Gaming, they are, I mean, look, across multiple leagues, they're doing excellent. I don't think they've dropped a series overall. So, standout team, doing amazing in this season. However, okay, they don't have the cleanest games. Dorado Gaming don't have the cleanest games. Sometimes they're susceptible to losing them. They'll typically come back in the mid game. So if Rubber Ducky Gaming could get a good mid game for themselves, plus a good early game, that's going to give them a win. And so Dorado have lost some games that way. Have someone been able to clear them out and get the win in the end in the series? No. So Rubber Ducky Gaming, I think it would be the first team to do so in my mind here. And the VARS pickup from Dorado is very strong. That is why we see the Ash pick, because Lamb, I think you know it. I mean, you drafted it against me. These champions together are very strong.
Very strong indeed. Now, the Ash obviously banned away, like you said. Nautilus is good pairing for the virus. You can sell that CC chain that comes also successfully with that bot lane synergy. Trundle kind of counters into that as well. Makes a very good pillar placement, going to be pretty important as well when it comes to these ganks in that bot lane. We'll see if they can pull it off here. Olaf been locked in really early, and from Dorado here kind of says, well, we might take in the jungle, we might take in the top side. Usually you see Olaf transcend into that top side. It's more traditional there. They're going to round off the third pick with their synergy in the bot lane, which is going to be Sivir and Renata.
All right, so the Renata onto the Olaf makes a lot of sense here. Sivir also, Lamb, is for the Olaf. So they're going to be playing to whoever this Olaf player is going to be. Whether that's going to be top or jungle is yet to be seen. So it does have that flex capability. So the thing is, though, Lamb, the reason why Olaf is so much better in top lane, there are not many matchups that Olaf loses in the top side. He's pretty much always going to be the top dog in that lane there, and he can get out jungled by various champs in different ways. So either get outscaled or get out ganked. So Olaf tends to do better on the top side. Makes a lot of sense. And Rubber Ducky Gaming, they're just pulling this out. I mean, the Olaf technology has been on, I've heard whispers, it's been on people's radar. Well, on this patch, they're just going to blast it right away. And now we get to see how good this Olaf top is. We get to see what the talk of the town.
Well, we'll see if the Viking can withstand the onslaught that's up there in that top lane, or might be the jungle, but we probably think it is going to go to that top lane. We're getting through the second phase of the bans here. A lot of emphasis on those mid lane picks for Rubber Ducky Gaming getting taken away. So research being done, important game. You need to get your bans right. Aurelia, we're waiting for that final ban coming through. It's going to be the Syndra, control mage taking off the cards. Not going to see that in the mid lane here as well. But how do you round off these compositions here, Crimson? We'll start with Dorado.
So Dorado, they're going to need some peel for the Olaf or some kind of form of safety. They did pick the Nautilus, so can't peel the Olaf. The only thing that really can are things that have terrain. So Anivia is one of those, so that's been taken away. Smart pick from Rubber Ducky Gaming to ban. Other things like Tom Kench, Olaf can't do anything against a Tom Kench if he eats his target. And something that's been left up is the J4. Trundle is a flex pick, so they could actually pick J4 and try to send it into the Olaf there, and or Kled. So we'll see if they do end up picking Kled. Kled's pretty much one of the only champions that can counter the Olaf. Has healing reduction, has ways to survive with his passive, and can deal enough damage to handle Olaf. So Kled's pretty much the only solid answer. They're going to pick healing, so this kind of works, Lamb, if you get to the late game, when Seraphine has the heals all scaled up. But up until she can out-heal the Olaf, she's basically axe fodder.
I find that this is putting a twist on things. Veigar was actually left up as well, and usually that's a handshake when you go into a scaling mid laner like Victor as well, but Veigar obviously scales a lot harder. Seraphine being locked in here kind of makes sense. Like you already touched on, that healing factor that goes with his team, it emphasizes the Trundle even more. That chase down frozen domain, the pillar placement, everything. Lockdown is huge, and they need a little bit of DPS coming from somewhere else, and they're going to look to the jungle as they lock in Belveth.
All right, Belveth gonna be their pick. Really good at canceling physical damage once she scales into the game. And at that point, she also can deal tons of damage. She could chase down the Sivir and stand toe-to-toe with Olaf here. So the Trundle, I mean, they could still double flex. I don't think Belveth's going to come on the top side, though. So they can put the Trundle into the Olaf.
Oh,
one
baby.
of the champions that does okay. And now we have the J4 locked in the jungle. This pick is actually really good against Dorado because he can lock up the Varus, the Seraphine, and Trundle Nautilus. None of those champions have a dash to get out. Only one is Belveth. Now, the negative side of this J4 pick is Belveth is actually good into J4 eventually once she scales. So I think Dorado kind of wanted to put them in a bad spot if they pick J4, but they went for it anyway on Rubber Ducky Gaming.
Well, with that attack speed and you lock up with the Belveth, you basically get free stacks right there in your face and can obviously delete the Jarvan. But J4, 54% win rate across solo queue right now. Very tough champion to deal with. Can snowball that early to mid game really, really well, but you have to keep it up. Otherwise, you end up falling off a little bit, and then all of a sudden, a champion like Belveth, who loves that kind of challenge and will rise up and for sure take you all the way. But they have a Sivir. They've got that insurance policy in the Victor as well, and the early pressure that's going to come from that Olaf in that top lane is going to be pretty hard to deal with here. So that confirms as well that Trundle will go up to the top lane for Rubber Ducky Gaming. So that matchup alone, Subjugate can heal you up enough, but how much stats can you actually steal from the Olaf before he's crushing your head with an axe?
Yeah, he's got the Ragnarok as well to shrug it off. And so it's more about the early dueling because Trundle can reduce auto attack damage. Once a level 6 rolls in, Olaf just kind of runs over pretty much anyone, unless it's like J4 who could do the Cataclysm and then get out with an EQ so that he doesn't have to fight the Olaf and he's trapped in the Cataclysm pit. So they don't have that option from the side of Dorado. Rubber Ducky Gaming have the J4 themselves. So that topside matchup is going to be hotly contested if Olaf gets ahead. I mean, look, he's got plenty of options to steamroll the game, and I don't think anyone can really stop him. Trundle does have terrain, though, So Olaf's going to have to run around that, but the slow's not going to affect him with the Ragnarok. So in team fights, early skirmish in team fights, this Olaf is going to be very strong, and I want to see Rubber Ducky Gaming flexing this Olaf. If you pick this and you're not playing towards it, it's a wasted pick and a wasted game. So Rubber Ducky Gaming, they have to know how to win on this Olaf.
All right, well, we'll see if they can actually make it happen. I want to take your attention down to that bot lane now. Sivir Renata, really safe lane. Can be said that once Renata hits level 6, a lot of the engage can be disengaged because that hostile takeover is so suppressive at doing that. Pairs up really well with the Sivir. You got a spell shield to keep you safe as well. Handshake, but into a Nautilus who can literally kick down that front door. How's that going to play out for them?
So the Renata is actually a pretty decent pick here. Can disengage the Trundle, Not, and Belveth at the same time. Belveth has ways to get out, but everyone else, if Vars or Seraphine gets caught up, that's a bonus. It's going to be really good. So the Renata Glass is in a good spot. Can also be used to buff up the Olaf, gives attack speed. Also, if Olaf dies, can revive him for potential to get the reset. And Olaf does a lot of damage, so that is actually a really good pairing right there. I prefer Karma, but this Renata is going to do as well. So the Renata Glass, I think, is a really good pick. Technically is also a counter in lane to the Nautilus, but Vars, I think, is still going to give them the win overall, and into the Sivir as well. So this bot side is quite interesting. I do think Seraphine and Renata, we might just see them trading ultimates. You're going to see waves crossing each other in these fights, because it's going to be up close and personal for most of this game.
Oh, waves. We'll see if you can actually style out on them best. How good's your surfing, Crims? Is it pretty good?
I can surf. That's all I will say.
Wow, fun fact, Crims can surf. All right, we might need to see some video evidence very shortly of that one.
Let's not get
that was
there.
way back in the day. Way back in the day. That was back in the day. All right, we'll let him away with it.
I'm not that good. Okay, I'll just let it. I'm not that good, but I can.
But he can, and that's what taking part is what counts. And both of these teams are going to take part in this game tonight. Let's get a prediction going, Crims. We're very shortly about to get into the game. I believe it's about 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes here. Tell me your thoughts on who's going to take game 1 of this so significant series tonight.
Gosh, I hate when you ask me that question, Lamb, especially when it comes to a draft like this, where it's like, if Rubber Ducky Gaming get what they want, they win. If they don't, then they lose very, very drastically. So it's all about whether I think Rubber Ducky Gaming can execute on this comp. I do think they have the draft win. I do think there's a possibility that Rubber Ducky Gaming can win this. I think this is like a 45-55 for Rubber Ducky Gaming here. So, despite them not being the favorites, I think the draft for them is very favorable until it's not. So, Rubber Ducky Gaming, I'm tricking everyone. I'm sticking with them.
All right, he even tricked me. I'm just going to say that I think the hot streak is going to continue. You know how it does. Somebody's got to be right and somebody's got to be wrong. We don't go down in the belly fire in the caster desk. One's right, one's wrong. We're all or nothing. Lamb and Crims, that's how we do it, man. But to find out whose prediction will come true, you guys will need to stay tuned. But just before we hit that break, remember, there's a clip competition. For God's sake, you want to win some cool prizes? Get clipping your favorite plays of this series, get them up there, get everybody to see them. The most views win something at the end of that. And once the predictions are up, I believe they're up right now, get those in as well right after the break. Dorado taking on RDG, Rubber Ducky Gaming. Don't go anywhere. Wednesday night action is coming. Where it's coming? It might be coming in that top lane here, Crims. Seen a little bit of a cheeky invade, but Big Bald and the other word is going to be well aware of this one. But that anchor actually hits. He's going to eat that one. Gets the flash out of the Olaf this early on in the game. 45 seconds. It's not going to be up for another 5 minutes.
That's a huge flash for the Olaf. The one lane that needs to go their way on the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming here. The one that's supreme importance. The Olaf lane. Of course, Victor and Sivir can carry the damage, but in the early game, that's who they're looking for. And now that flash has been taken away, they can look for some dives in the top side, some ganks in the top side, shut down the Olaf, and take away Rubber Ducky Gaming's game plan straight out from under them in the first minutes of the game. So we are in a very dangerous position for Rubber Ducky Gaming. If you're on the side of Dorado, I mean, you're pretty happy
hold
with
on.
that.
This is an all-in level 1. Big, bold, and dead. That's his name now. Chondo gets the solo kill up there in the top lane.
All right, well, if you were expecting the Olaf to win, which it's supposed to in this matchup, definitely don't challenge the Trundle at level 1. He's going to be able to reduce your auto attack damage, and not to mention, has the lethal tempo. So if you get an extended fight, going to be able to stack that up, and all you have is either your axes or your W. So not going to be enough to take out this Trundle, who also got a combat summoner in that ignite.
All right, what a start already. Setting the pace of this game, and I like it. I very much like it. I like that early action, Crims. Flame, putting down that frozen domain. A little bit ironic with the name Flame, but he's making it happen. Making it happen in the bot side is Dorado. Gets back on the SWBF. Walks back. Sivir going to play that one nice and safe. Remember, the Sivir, the Renata are going to be pretty healthy. They'll withstand a lot of onslaught from this bot side. But for Dorado, they'll definitely have the strength in that bot side to see if they can make the plays around that dragon. Will they do it, Crims? Because we know how important those dragons can be. What's also important before I actually hand that over. Olaf about to go down, maybe for the second time in the game. Oh, Flame plays it correctly. Tanks the turret and still gets the solo kill.
All right, well, can I change my prediction now? I'd like to do it right now. Because this Olaf game plan is just dead in the water. Level 2. Big Bald. I mean, that is bold to go for that trade back. And now, I mean, the game plan is completely thrown out the door. Hybrid
carry. Looking to try and get something on Nautilus. We'll get the flash and the ignite coming out with the support there for Dorado. So they force them back, make them play a little bit more safer. J4 going to be very active early on. This is how you play this champion. You want to make sure you can actually get things done, because on this champion as well, you're on a time limit for the most of this game. Eventually you become a cataclysm bot. If you can get on the right person and set it up for your carries, then your job is done. Job done in the early game so far. Gets the summoners out of the bot lane of Dorado.
Okay, all right, so well, while this play is going down, Big Bald, best of luck. I hope you survive this one, as he does make it out, but at the cost of 80% of his HP bar. All right, so look, Lamp, I have some news for you. I just realized that Dorado Gaming and Rubber Ducky Gaming have been swapped the entire time. So we were talking about the reverse team this entire time. It's actually Dorado who went with the Olaf. And now, for me, on Rubber Ducky Gaming with the Trundle. So, yes, I'm sticking with Rubber Ducky Gaming. Everything is all right.
All right, well, we'll see a flash Oreo, and actually on the wrong side of the river still makes the play happen. Red Honda 2007 gonna go down right there in the mid lane. Great gank coming through. They rotate the support and they claim the rewards in that mid lane.
All right, so they're able to pull 3 men to the mid lane to get that kill. And that's a lot of resources, but it does pay off. They're going to go ahead and slay Red Honda 2007. I'm not very familiar with that car, but must be pretty memorable in the mind of Red Honda here.
Wait a minute. This whole time, I've actually been referring the teams correctly, Crims. You are the one that's been messing this up.
Well, okay, yes. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna throw our producer under the bus. It's his fault. I'm just gonna be. I don't have to take this flack. So it's Lucan. So it was Lucan. Sorry, he was looking at the wrong teams, and He also tricked me here, as this is a 2-level advantage for Flame on the Trundle nonetheless, and he has a Sheen as well, so he can go for mini trades. So yes, Lamb, in order to save my own hide, I will throw the producer under the bus, but
I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less. Crim's making it happen on the desk. Oh no, the pillar placement. Where is the flash available for Olaf? Hybrid carry is here. He flashes away. That ignite is taken. Axe doesn't connect, and Olaf goes down for the 3rd time in this game.
All right, Orion was looking topside. He just needed a little bit more time to supply a shield, but this is a 0-3 Olaf. The lane that not only was supposed to be winning, is supposed to be the driver for the team's early and mid game. So, Dorado, I mean, I guess you have the scaling of the Victor and the Sivir to rely on here, but that top lane plan, everyone's going to have to ditch Big Bald. They're going to have to go somewhere else because that top lane is over. That's a complete shutout.
33 CS down. Hybrid carry manages to get the skull. Good flash to get away from that dredge lane. Looked very close from Darrow, looking to try and catch out the jungler, but he gets what he came for. We'll go back to doing that Gromp. Make sure that can happen right now, but Dragon's going to be started up here. And we'll see if there'll be a return. Espresso still tanking the Dragon. Dragon doing most of the damage in that assist. If he ends up going down, Chaos Storm going to go down from Tough Daddy. Good encore. He land onto the mid laner there. He's going to get the bailout onto him. He's still alive. No assist. Goes through. That's 2 in quick succession. But the Sivir throwing the boomerang blades. Going to get one back. Drops the opposing AD carry.
All right, they still lose that fight. And no one's going to be able to be healthy enough to take this Dragon. Espresso just too low. One of the members you need with some decent HP to even contest that Dragon. But they can reset the map, go for it again. But it looks like both teams have plans elsewhere, as Hybrid Carry is making his way topside for that clear. And Espresso wants to clear jungle for efficiency as well. So both junglers saying that they'd rather get the clears on their jungle, get that level 6, and then maybe go for the Dragon again.
All right, we'll see if any pings of assistance goes down for Big Bald. He's getting targeted again. Flame has the subjugate. Looks like he's tanking. Is he baiting though? Can he get it back? Yeah, subjugate comes out. No level 6 on the Olaf. Flame just toying with his food in the top lane.
Yeah, he's cooking him up there. It's not the type of cooking that people like. That is disgusting.
Flame on.
Yeah, well, we might get a Flame Horizon here soon, as there's just no way Big Bald's going to be able to contest this Trundle. I mean, he's not even level 6 yet, for heaven's sakes. So, this top lane and every Rift Herald, I imagine, will not be going the way of Dorado. They're going to fight for it here. Flame does have Flash, no Ignite.
J4, no level 6. Bailout comes out, but he's just gonna, yeah, he knows he's dead right there. Espresso manages to get the reset. Endless Banquet. Gonna extend that Banquet. Start up the Herald there. Olaf is making the roam around, but right now I believe a cannon minion is worth more than Big Bald, and that's very unfortunate for the Olaf. Needs to stick to his guns in that top lane. They're very small guns, but in Men in Black, that's how you start out, Crims. And then eventually you get to a point where you get the big gun, and then I don't know where I'm going with it, but basically there's still a chance for the Olaf to actually do something in this game, but he needs level 6.
I think Olaf kind of just got the downgrade. They took the gun away from him. He's just got 2 sticks now. As that's his only form of defense. I mean, what
he's alcove gaming, nobody's there. He's safe.
That's the only way he's gonna be safe, if he has a bodyguard. And
I was
maybe
playing
even
Teemo
then.
up there.
So it looks like Dorado are actually gonna be able to pick up this Dragon. I didn't think that was gonna happen. That is their stronger side. They should really stop making plays around Flame. If Flame is there, they gotta leave. Too strong right now on this Trundle. Too far ahead. And Big Bald, no way he can match up. It's like Flame is like the equivalent strength of 1.5, and Big Bald is the strength of a half a champion. So as a 2, that's going to be a 2 champion difference if you fight on his side.
Oh, Shelly's going to be dropped in that top lane. They're kind of sick and tired of playing with Big Bald up there. They're looking to get the first turret of the game. Shelly will help them on the way to that. Don't let the wave die. So Olaf will still be able to get a wave back, but he's so far behind. 2 levels difference. magnitude of CS, and there's no way of stopping this push right now. Espresso leading the charge alongside Flame. Shelly gets another charge off. Job done. Crashing that huge wave right now. And it just looks like Olaf can't do a whole lot, but just try and get as many minions as he can. Tough Daddy's going to make the roam around, help him out with that wave, make sure he can't get dove. But Ragnarok being available, he's going to be sitting tight. That turret might still go down if he's not quick enough here.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of minion damage. I haven't seen a wave that big for quite some time. He does get most of it though, so that's a lot of gold back in his pocket. Tough Daddy did come to help clear, but I would say more like take some minions for himself, more like it. And I mean, to be honest, I think someone else should have picked up that wave.
Oh, chains land.
Oh,
Hybrid carries a bit far away here. He's going to get the flag and drag again, and Orion will live with the assist of the bailout. Varys goes down. Great turnaround there, and they managed to get them. J4's patient pays off.
Yeah, that is a nice little bait, and that's something Renata can do very effectively with the reset.
Big balls. There he goes. He's out.
He's running. He pops the ghost to get away. But he cannot farm in this lane anymore because Flame is going to pull it, and especially with the ghost down, there's no way he's going to be able to pick up any more. So this 40 CS difference is probably going to get bigger, as not only is the wave pulling away, that wave is getting bigger and bigger as well. So they need to play somewhere else. Wait a minute, he's going to Flame just bounce this wave, but there's no objective up soon. I mean, I guess if you want the early turret, but there's no reason to take that right now. As Flame, I don't know if he realizes it, but he's getting deeper in enemy territory. It looks like no one's gonna assist Big Bald though. He's on his own now.
He's got the flash.
He's just burning some, just trying to farm. Dude is in a rough spot. This is like solo queue territory. Lamb, have you ever been here in this? I mean, come on, you play top lane. You've been here at least a couple times.
Stop it. No, never been. You'll never catch Lamb on the other end of that one because my game would be over by now because I just quit. So Flame actually going to be under threat now. You said he's deep in enemy territory. That's what's going to happen here. Hybrid carry goes forward. Cataclysm not available. Flame going to pop the subjugate. Bailout's going to be on the J4. He might burn here. No, that's going to go through, and it's a 1v4. Flame gets the 5th kill of the game.
All right, so he gets the burn, and then he uses the pillar disengage to confirm the kill. Hybrid carry goes down without using the Cataclysm, and Flame gets away with the flash as well. So Dorado, I mean, Lamb, I don't think there's much hope for them.
Oh, no. They just get collapsed on. Espresso's going to get that one. 4 members swarming. Just can't move a whole lot, not even in between your own turrets in the mid lane. The dive potential, the dive threat is there. The healing from the Seraphine will enable Belveth so much. She hasn't had to do a whole lot in this game, but she's participated in 4 kills so far. She's sitting on 2 kills, 250 gold shutdown. Gonna see the ghost come out from Sivir, trying to solo kill the Varus. Ricochets go out, and Varus's flash is gonna be on a cooldown.
At least the Sivir is doing quite well against this Varus in lane here. That is due to Hybrid Carry and Orion. They are really helping out SWBF. So that's really helping out their case for coming back in this game. If Sivir gets ahead, if Tough Daddy on this Victor get a foothold in the game, that is going to make up for the lack of Olaf damage. I mean, it's going to be a 4v5, but these two champions have huge teamfight ultimates, and they might be able to make up for it in the mid game. In the late game, though, I'm going to count out Dorado. There's no way. They have low damage frontliners who aren't even that tanky. So their options are to win through bot side right now.
Yeah, well, Hybrid Carry is going to find company of 2. Gets through that one. Hostile Takeover comes out to keep the jungler alive. They walk away from that one. Flash comes out from Orion. Tough Daddy sends out the laser to try and find out who's in that brush. It doesn't really matter. Rubber Ducky game, and they're so far ahead in this one, 5,000, and they're looking to equal out the dragons.
All right, dragon take going to be secured here, and that's going to prevent the stacking that Dorado theoretically could have tried to go for. That team fight really didn't go their way. They came from multiple angles, but they weren't really all set up, so they weren't able to set up a nice fight for themselves there. As Big Bald, I think the best strategy is to just dodge Flame as much as possible. If you can farm on a side lane and Trundle's not there, you're honestly no help to your team, so just keep playing the side lane. But don't get caught! Flame going for the kill.
Wow, yeah, gets the ghost off a cooldown. Again, Red Honda going to be left alone with that bot lane turret. You're going to cash in that one. It'll take a little bit more time for the Seraphine to get this one down. But uncontested means that they're going to be 3 members of Dorado in that mid lane trying to claim a bounty here. Going to get the dredge lane back out. Gets hand shook back on top of Orion there. And that's perfectly peeled. They'll get the shutdown onto the Victor. More gold in the pocket of that carry. Tough Daddy bites back in this game.
All right, Tough Daddy has Leandre's, and that's a lot of damage over time. Is not going to really opt into that burst, but if there's a team fight that rolls around and there's a decent amount of time for Tough Daddy to get off his skills, expect to see some huge damage numbers come out from this Victor here. And that's the only angle that they really have left, is Sivir and the Victor, and those are pretty good champions to rely on, but they're just so behind overall. I mean, this gold deficit is massive. Granted, a lot of it is on Flame, but he's going to be able to steal tank stats, and he's going to have crazy frontline damage. It's going to be very hard for Hybrid Carry and Big Ball to survive on this frontline. They're really going to have to rely on that Renata reset and just full damage from these 2 hard backline carries.
Flame relentless with the push. They're going to be relentless in the blue side of the jungle, not the red side. I mean, they're seeing blue, they're seeing gray screen right now. Hybrid Carry going to go on a cooldown. Flame chasing down Big Bald. He's going to get the Ragnarok out. That means he can't be stopped for now. Subjugate, I believe, is still available. Flame holding on to that until he can guarantee the kill every single time.
Yeah, that is what it looks like here. Flame goes for the turret. Another 600 gold. Pocket of his team. Make quite the moneymaker, as they also are just going to get this mid turret, and this is without Rift Herald or Baron. They're just taking these up in the face of Dorado, and they don't have a good answer, and I can't blame them at this point.
The one thing they got going is Olaf has managed to get that CS discrepancy down to around 30. He's not got to that point yet, but he's still behind. He's rocking those steel caps right now. We'll see how far it gets him. If he can stay in that top lane, absorb the pressure, it looks like Flame is thinking twice about diving him now that Ragnarok is going to be available. Potentially get a dive on to him. But you already seen 1v4, and he's picked up the Herald now as well. So the Trundle probably looking to just split push this game to death. There's not really anybody that can answer this guy. See itemization coming across the board now, Crims. Leandre is going to be picked up for the Victor. And of course, Sivir is going to be trying to farm up as best as she can. And really, when you're thinking of the stakes at hand here, Dorado, they have to try and funnel their carries now.
Yeah, I mean, I think really taking gold away from Big Bald and putting it onto Sivir would be actually so much better. And just have him go full tank. I don't like what they're doing. I think the Tiamat build from this Olaf is kind of trolling. I mean, he's pretty much out of the game. He's a champion that needs to get out ahead of the curve, so he needs to just ditch everything, go full tank, provide a front line for the Sivir and the Victor as best as he can, because that game plan's out the window. So I don't like what's happening. I don't like the optimization of the gold here. I think you could spread it better and also buy better items from this Olaf.
Well, approaching the 19-minute mark, in a minute's time, that dragon is going to be here. It might be up for contention, depending on who wants it more. Flame going to get slowed down by the gravity field from the Victor, still walking forward. It's going to be Shelly dropped as well. They're going to try and get this turret down, but going to drop back onto the Olaf there. He flashes forward, trying to get on the Vesper. Now, Ragnarok is just not powerful enough. Tiamat doesn't really help you in those situations. He's going to get cleared himself instead of clearing the wave. They're going to collapse back onto the mid lane. Dorado looking for a pick. They're desperate. They get Vesper. The Varus goes on a cooldown, but they're still marching it down the bot lane. Now, Tough Daddy gets Chaos Storm out. Red Honda walking back up to J4, gets interrupted. Hostile takeover is great to interrupt that one. Heals up with item. Oh, they get collapsed on again. Endless Banquet. Special's going to get that one. He can burn from Tough Daddy. Victor showing that they are tough in the spirit, putting up a fight here. Dorado, they find some picks in this game.
Actually, probably the best outlook you could have looked for Vesper burns Flash and heal from the Olaf. I think he could have saved it, and it was something that he really did need to, because Hybrid Carry came over and locked him in the Cataclysm. No escape for him, and he was just easy pickings from that point on. Red Honda ends up getting caught by the rest of the team, and the damage comes pouring through. Espresso on the kill, looked like he was going to be able to get out, but that Leandri's burn that you mentioned was the final tick that needed to pick up Espresso. It's a Dorado. Surprisingly enough, they find a win in this game, and as I said before, Dorado can come back in the mid-game if Rubber Ducky Gaming continues to make mistakes like that. It's actually somehow gonna flip over to Dorado Gaming's side.
They are undefeated this season for a reason, and we're starting to see that come through now, but they've still got ways to go in this game. The gold lead is 7,000 in favor of Rubber Ducky Gaming, but they managed to get the picks. They rotated. It looked like a pretty desperate play, but they made it happen. They managed to get Vesper off the map. Delays the game a little bit more for them. It's only 21 minutes in now. That's going to be Ragnarok activated again. Flash forward, subjugate. Going to go into the Olaf, burning everything, flame, and it doesn't look like he's going to drop him.
Oh, he's okay. He gets the cooldown. Isn't going to go for it. The turret dive unwise, but there's a lot of pressure, and I don't think they saw the Sivir, but they would have definitely started the Baron if they noticed SWBF down there. So it looks like for the time being, this Baron gonna be untaken, but they have the pressure building on the side lane. Flame. It's only a matter of time, Lamb, before Flame draws someone else down there, and this Baron's gonna be up for grabs.
Oh, well, it looks like Olaf's going to look enticing again. This will be the 6th kill for Flame's game, and it's all 6 kills onto the Olaf. They're going to drop the turret in the mid lane. Sivir going to make that one happen. Big ball being run down, gets chomped, gets whacked with that big pillar, Fred Flintstone style. They're going to get the Nautilus back in that mid lane, though. So they answer back again. Dorado. The Olaf eats the grey screen, but they managed to get another pick.
Well, the 1-for-1 trade actually does not help them out here, because they need to answer the Trundle, and now they have their jungler still up. If they caught Espresso, this would not be happening here, as I guess they're being extra precautionary on the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming. I think they should have just charged up to the Baron and said, we are taking this with that side pressure from Flame. It looks like they're not feeling too confident right now, even though they have really good control over the dragon, and they have that side pressure in Flame.
Well, that side pressure, we'll see if Flame can mount that up. If he's worked out that nobody can really answer him, Victor can go and try and clear the wave, and that's only the real way that you can stop the Trundle. And of course, this Baron going to be available now as well. 23 minutes into the game, 2.5 on the next dragon. Red Honda might be the focus of this one. Hybrid Carry gets flag and drag point. Face. Managed to get a Cataclysm. 2-for-1. Encore goes out as well. Teleport's going to come in from the Victor. Needed back Tough Daddy up here. He's left alone. Hand shoot the jungler back, and they'll go back on it. Tough Daddy. Virus off to the side, looking for a snipe. Doesn't find it.
Are they able to pull off here? Because wasting time is something they would love to do. Flame working on that turret. Some of these channels, it looks like they're going to pull through and make that defense. And it's a little bit too late, though, Lamb, because the turret goes down, and this inhibitor is just going to take mere seconds to fall to a split push and Trundle, and he has that Titanic for that AoE. Baron's being started, and it looks like Big Bald is going to have to stay behind at base. Flame, no TP, remember, so he's just going to try to push in. His best option is to kill this Olaf and then threaten the end of the game. Looks like
they're
that's
in
gonna
trouble
happen.
here. Their base is under threat, but it doesn't matter. Dorado will fight back for this Baron, but Trundle is ending the game. Victor trying to go back there, canceling the backs. Hybrid Carry goes down. Doesn't look like they can get back in time. We've got 20 seconds on Olaf to try and answer this. Flame actually runs out of the wave. Pillar goes down on it. Tough Daddy will flash away as well. Flame is just a monster in this game.
There's so much pressure in the side lane. Eventually, he kills Big Bald, and he brings the Victor as well. Espresso, not the tankiest jungler. They can definitely lay down some poke. Has good damage for this Baron. They're going to come and peel around to the flank, and now they're feeling a bit uncomfortable as another turret falls to the hands of Flame. They should just rename him to the Turret Destroyer here.
With
Now he has a
wraparound.
flank.
There's reinforcements though. There's reinforcements. Dorado. Olaf drops it. Trundle encore in the corridor.
Huge
Lands
turn.
on 2. Endless Banquet going to be reset by Espresso. Looking to hunt down the Olaf. The Ragnarok. He gets a triple kill out of nowhere. Call him Randy Orton, baby, because he's flying in this game.
All right, gets the triple kill. That probably is going to save the game because no one's going to take this Baron here. Just completely left uncontested on the back line. That's where you exactly want Olaf to be, and we can see the effectiveness despite being 0-8 at the time, Lamb. So it looks like Dorado Gaming are proving true to their normal fashion. They're just a clutch team. Don't let them get in these positions, Rubber Ducky Gaming. This game is yours by all means. You can't throw it away.
Well, that goal lead's still the same, 6,000. But it doesn't look like it's been consistent here unless Flame can consistently push these sides. As soon as they looked to join up, that was an overstep. They were all low. They didn't keep track of the timers in that fight, and Olaf was there, big bald. I mean, he's got nothing to lose. He's basically kamikaze at this point, Crims. He just hits that Ragnarok, and he's looking to try and kill somebody as quick as he can, and he gets paid with that triple kill.
I mean, that's Olaf's MO. He's just a kamikaze fighter. He needs to run in, kill everyone before you can kill him. And that's what his game plan is going to be. And he was able to do so. There just wasn't enough people focusing down this Olaf. And Seraphine, she does more of like the healing to counter the Olaf, not the damage part of that formula. And so he just caught them with their pants down, essentially. Belveth Espresso was somewhere else dealing with other members of his own team, and Big Bald was able to just completely steamroll the backline. And I don't think they're going to let that happen again on Rubber Ducky. We'll see as Flame is managing 2 in the sideline yet again.
Well, he's got 2, and that means that they can take this fight. Espresso gets handshake back, but a flash Dredgeling going to land as well. Perfectly comboed with the Seraphine. It looks like Hybrid Carry might get away from that one, but you can't say the same for the support. Big Bald.
He's worth money now.
Is he going to get him?
For this pillar.
There it is. Pillar placement's good. Big Bald. Then he's gone.
Yeah.
He's out of there. Action.
Yeah, I mean, was there any
Hybrid Carry. Whoa. They're taking a fight against the Jarvan, trying to delay that Baron. I think that's what he's trying to do there, Crims. And it looks like that base is opened up just a little bit more. And it might be that RDG can get some more stuff done here. That middle inhibitor is looking very enticing for them.
Yeah, they definitely can take a chunk out of this base. Did they just re-destroy that inhibitor? It looks like it's coming up soon, but Flame's probably going to be there to take it. The crystals are reforming together, so that's going to come quite soon. Handshake just going to waste time. Top lane is also pushed in, but it looks like they might just be going straight down for the next.
They're going to brute force it, just drop that turret. They've had enough. Flame's going to be the focus of the damage, but it doesn't matter. Devastating loss goes over to Dorado, undefeated this season, and still that remains unless this series can change hands. Otherwise, RDG, they're looking really good in this one.
I mean, as I said, one of the ways that Dorado Gaming can lose is a very, very spicy early game and some mid-game outplays. I mean, to be honest, the early game went so bad that Dorado Gaming's mid-game, there was really not much they could do, and yet they still found some angles to come back into the game. That's how scary they are. So the Olaf play didn't work out for them, and that is going to be able to cause a lot of disturbance in the rest of that game, and they were able to carry it out off the back of Flames split pushing here. I mean, 8-1 and 4 was definitely the most richest champion on the field, had the most CS. Oh, didn't have the most CS. We'll give credit to AD carries, of course, picking up CS where they do, but just significantly ahead of everyone else, and was just stomping in that 1v1. And even when Tough Daddy came down to help out, was still getting pushed out regardless. So the Olaf play didn't work out, Lim. The risk, the coin flip didn't land heads for them.
Yeah, they didn't get it, but one thing we can say is SWBF on the Civ are actually deathless in that game.
Yeah.
So there is hope. I mean, there is hope. This squad, they're unbeaten for a reason. I believe they can bounce back. Of course they can. This should be a more enticing series than that. That just seemed like that snowball in the top lane. just never stopped rolling. And once Flame figured that little mathematical equation, I go side lane, I push, I kill, I end the game. That's pretty much what happens. He managed to take our Nexus turret by himself. Delaying the backstair is so important, but unfortunately the cooldowns on the deaths weren't quite long enough that you can actually expect it. So maybe he's saving that for next game, but we'll see how that one goes. I mean, of course, need to keep our eyes on Big Bald and see if he can bounce back. That Olaf performance wasn't the greatest. Kind of went down on that level 1, lost his flash very early on from that cheese attempt. Didn't quite work out for him. Couldn't get away from the trundle. The pillar placement is so good. And of course, he actually ended up building Hullbreaker as well. And you could see why, Crimps. Nobody could answer him.
Yeah, completely unanswered. And just a complete split push monster. I mean, I wish we could see how many turrets he killed, because it would be an insanely high number. What's the structural damage that Trundle did to Dorado Gaming Epsilon? Now, look, despite this being a heavy victory, it was kind of more, it's just the coin flip nature of Olaf. If you get it working, it's really good. As soon as it doesn't go your way, it's really bad. Does that mean that this is going to be a 2-0 series? By all means, I don't think so. Dorado are going to adjust. I mean, even if they go for this Olaf again, I think they're going to adjust in their gameplay. You can't just write them off just because game 1 was such a stomp, just based off the champions and the style that they were going for as well. So Dorado are going to be losing in this first game, and that's going to make this very interesting, because remember, Ducky Gaming 1 win away from changing up the standings completely in their favor, and then we're going to have, well, who's number 1 situation.
First seed, it's up for grabs. To find out who actually claims that, you got to stay tuned. Game 2, we're gearing up for it. Right after this break, we'll bring you all the action once again. and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. Game one, Trims, upsets happen. That's exactly what happened. Rubber Ducky Gaming actually take a game away from Dorado Gaming Epsilon. Now, this is not the first time in a series that they've actually beaten down a game. And they come back and they usually win it pretty handsomely. But can they do it with that first game performance? That's the biggest question.
It was an Olaf flip. They didn't get heads. They threw a tails and they lost the game. Are Dorado gonna do the same thing 2 times in a row? Probably not. So we're probably gonna have a very competitive game coming up.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure it's going to be full of tantalizing things that happen. And you could say that really, I already highlighted the fact that Sivir was deathless that whole game, SW. Really didn't really get a chance. That snowball from the top lane was too much for them to actually withstand on. So again, how do they reiterate that? Do they go carry back in the top lane? Are they feeling confident with that? Is that what Dorado is used to, or do they want to go on tank duty?
You know, I don't really think they're a tank top kind of team that they typically want to do that. I mean, when we had Daltini, I think they like to play the carries still. Are they going to just throw him on tank duty? Is he grounded? we will have to see. After that game one, you know, sometimes people just want to throw their top winner on tank duty. I do think Dorado kind of have more trust in their team a bit. So we'll see if they decide like, hey, we just flipped, didn't go well. We still have confidence in you. And that's actually a fair assessment still.
Well, Crims, I think it's hilarious you're talking crap about Flame. You wouldn't say it to him at LAN. He's jacked. Not only that, but he wears the freshest clothes. He eats at the chillest restaurants and hangs out with the hottest dudes. Pretty pathetic for that.
What, is that your words, Lamb? Or are you just reading something?
Lamb is a man of the people. I go where the clout is, man. That's basically what it is.
When did I insult Flame? Just please tell me. Just please tell me.
He didn't. I'm just picking
You're
on
just trying to shove a narrative. All right. You know what? Look, if we want me and Flame to get into it, we can do that. But at least make it accurate. Make an accurate statement so we can fight for something for real.
Security. Get the security in here. We got some.
All right. Who posted that? I'm going to go into Twitch chat. I'm going to look for you. All right. Who posted that?
Multiple magnitude of people. Anyway, there's a lot of Flame fans in the building, and you can understand why. It was perfectly executed on the Trundle. Didn't give the Olaf really a chance to actually go on and be something in that game. So, again, it's something that they have to go back to. How did they actually deal with Flame? He's a monster. He managed to get it done eventually there. He was kind of conflicted. Do I agree with the team that tried to get that pincer off? Ended up getting picked off. It was a triple kill that went over to that Olaf. But then Flame stat checked him again and says, yeah, that was pretty good. But watch this. I'm about to take the whole base right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Flame did. Stat checked him over and over, won that many times. So I think that there's many lessons learned there. As we have similar bans to game number 1, we'll see if anything changes up. Obviously, if you won game 1, Rubber Ducky Gaming did win. They are going to keep the same bans. Oh, is Yuumi banned on this patch? We'll wait for Lucan to answer on that one, because Yuumi is actually really strong right now. So both, okay, so Lucan just told me no. So now that's throwing a question to me, because they haven't banned, no team has banned Yuumi, no team has picked Yuumi, despite the fact that Yuumi is absolutely busted on this patch. I did get micro patched out, but I think she's still very strong.
You're not a fan of the cat?
No, I hate. I was about to curse. I hate that cat.
We're definitely going to get security in here. By the end of this night, Crims is going to be criminal face planting right on the front page of Titan Esports. And Titan Esports, they rock it every Monday and Wednesday. But look at the bans coming through to take away the Olaf here. So they already identified that maybe they could have lucked out with it. We don't know. Flame might just be that good that he can play against it. But they actually take it away here, the 3rd ban.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it. If that, I mean, that Olaf in that draft was actually in a really good spot. So makes sense to not even, they don't want to play with luck again, that Flame actually stops and gets the win twice in a row. The Nautilus ban is a question mark from me, so it feels like there is some kind of other combo with Nautilus that Dorado Gaming don't like. And that is quite interesting. So we'll see what that plays into the draft. Or they just feel like, hey, this guy's a really good Nautilus player.
Well, the hooks were definitely on point. Multiple times actually going through, and they landed successfully, set a team up. But taking Nautilus away is a big power pick. Speaking of power picks, Xayah going to be locked in for RDG in the first pick on the blue side. What do you make of that, Crims?
I think Xayah's a pretty strong blind pick. I think she's weak to poke. Not a lot of teams want to play poke, so she ends up being quite strong, especially competitive, especially at our level. The Jinx is also a fine counter into the Xayah. Can outscale, is able to do more damage in a team fight, and once she gets excited, will be able to stomp and roll over the rest of the 4 members there. Now, that does start a question. Are they worried about the Rakan Xayah combo? Jinx Rakan doesn't sound very good themselves, Lamb, so they might end up giving it over in favor of something else instead. They could also blind pick jungle, save their support for third, or they can get a counter or a pick for top side here as they go for the Maokai. Most certainly going to be jungle, and a very strong jungler can force Xayah as well to burn her ultimate.
Yep, Maokai going to be locked in. Even with the nerfs, Maokai is still really good in the jungle. That Nature's Grass is so strong. Out of the Fog of War, you can set up all the plays, and especially for a hyper carry like Jinx that needs that point and click rockets. Thresh being hovered here as well. This is another combination between Xayah. Usually it's the Rakan, but slowly but surely Thresh's win rate is skyrocketing since recent patches.
Well, solo queue, if you add damage to any champion, their win rate's gonna go up, guaranteed. I think this is actually a takeaway, Lamb, because Jinx is actually quite a fan of the Thresh support. It's not the only one, but she does like it because she's immobile, and the Lantern can really just take her to safety. Xayah's not too bad with it either. I do think that's more of a takeaway than a combo with Xayah herself. And now they have the option. I guess they could go Jinx Lulu for the side of Dorado Gaming, or Yuumi. I mean, look, they could win Yuumi. Thresh can play into Yuumi, because if you hook the Jinx, you're actually hooking Jinx and Yuumi at the same time, so you actually get pretty good value out of a single hook there. And the Bel'Veth coming in to be that late game scaling front line that has the armor resistance or the physical damage resistance to counteract the Jinx.
Well, Bel'Veth, it was pretty good in game 1. Didn't really find it very difficult against the Jarvan, has to be said. They're going to return that with the Amumu, so a lot of lockdown. Amumu is the support. It's something that's kind of went away, but it's still very, very strong. This champion is so good at the AoE lockdown, and when it comes to a champion like Xayah, it buys you enough time to actually kill her, possibly, until she can get that ultimate off.
Yeah, the AoE lockdown is really good at protecting someone like a Jinx. Maokai as well. They have such wide and huge ultimates that's going to prevent people from getting in on the Jinx, and then she can return fire, get those kills. So a lot of space being built for SWBF here, and I hope it's going to be worth it. They're going to need to round out their comp with some more damage eventually. Probably going to be the mid lane control mage, of course. So Rubber Ducky Gaming, expecting that could go for the punish themselves. I do think they don't want to pick Irelia, so the Irelia ban is, I don't think they want to go with it, so I don't like that Irelia ban. The Fiora and the Silas ban are going to be some really strong duelers and skirmishers that are going to be taken out, and could particularly put Jinx into some trouble. So, or they're just trying to secure themselves a really good matchup in top lane this time around, because the last time, Lamb, that wasn't so good for them.
It's just a little bit one-sided. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need to give over that false confidence, false sense of security that you can win that 1v1, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot closer this time around. Syndra is going to be rounding off the bans in the second phase. Control Mage off the charts, but Victor still available. Veigar still available. There's a magnitude of individual champions that you can take very safely, blindly into that mid lane, and they'll be safe and precise. But all our attention is actually on that top lane right now. What are we going to get out of these top laners here, Crims?
The top lane. Well, definitely not Olaf. As we have ourselves here.
Zion,
okay, tank duty. Tank duty
baby.
is here, but you kind of do need a front line for the Jinx. But this is a really, really tanky front line. They're going to be lacking the damage, so mid lane's going to have to make up for it. And then we have a 2-threat comp.
Singed.
So
Singed.
actually, Rubber Ducky Gaming don't play into this tank v tank matchup. You need dive. If you kill Jinx and or whoever is going to be the other carry, that's going to be completely gutting Dorado Gaming's comp here. And something like the Gwen, there we go. That's going to be able to get in and deal some damage to the front line, as well as being able to take out the Jinx. One little problem, though, she can get locked down by Maokai Mumu, a Scion. That's a lot of CC, so has to play that carefully.
Let me see it.
Zed coming out as well. Okay, actually, Rubber Ducky Gaming, this is a good response. They put more damage in their kit. Lamb, there's no way they win the front to back.
Lock it
I'm
in.
just going to be clear.
Just do it.
To be clear. They don't win the front to back no matter what they do. Because they have dive.
Bamboozled.
I mean, Vex, Zed, same kind of thing. We'll see here. So the dive coming in from Rubber Ducky Gaming. They want to kill this Jinx, take her out of the equation before the fight starts. And once Jinx is gone, and I'm presuming this control mage that gets picked in, they will win these fights. So Rubber Ducky Gaming have a dive comp. They have Thresh, Belveth, Gwen, Vex. And those are going to be able to get in on the back line. And they're going to slip right through the front line. Zaya can just peel. And Ari comes out. And that, she is kind of a control mage. But the problem is, she's not that much damage compared to other control mages. So a lot of this is riding on SWBF Lamb. She's going to probably be like 50% of the team's damage.
Yeah, well,
that's huge.
The problem that Ari has in this instance as well, that Gwen can also be immune. Zaya, very good into Ari. You can get the feathers out, you can root her up, and then she's dead. So those Spirit Rush activations, they got buffed recently. Is it enough though? You're right. I think that all the eggs are in the basket, the Jinx basket, and Dorado obviously realized that SW is very confident in the ability to carry this game. You're talking about Peel. You got Maokai, Amumu, and Scion. The Ari is nothing to worry about. If she can get up to a point where she's going to be a threat here, then that's something to think about. But look on the other side. Rubber Ducky Gaming's composition is insane. Vex, Gwen, Belveth. I mean, this bot lane is practically untouchable. Plus, you got the Thresh for the utility. All my eyes are going to go onto that Vex. If she can get into the back line, get that fear off, Jinx is potentially just one shot and dead. So, can they make it happen? Can they stop this Vex getting in there? Because I believe it's a point-and-click ultimate that will get you into that back lane if you land it.
Yeah, if you hit that, it's going to be a free entrance there. And, Vex, not too... I mean, it is going to be decent into the Ari. Can also get the fear combo onto her as well. Of course, Ari can dash away, so it's going to make hitting her really hard. But we'll see in the lane phase how that plays out. The Gwen wins in the Scion, no doubt. So there is enough damage for Rubber Ducky Gaming to even kill the tanks if they need to do that. But, of course, I mean, the Hydra here is the Jinx, and they're going to definitely cut off her head first.
Oh, my God. What an analogy. Crims. Oh my God, is there a Hercules that's gonna do that? Is there? Yeah, it's Hercules, isn't it, in the lore?
Yeah, Hercules. You know how Hercules beats the Hydra? Just keeps cutting off the heads until it can't grow back anymore.
Oh,
what a strategy. What a strategy. Yeah, Hercules is not known for being the smartest hero in Greek mythology, or I guess that's Greek. Yeah, Greek mythology. I'll leave that up to Odysseus, someone like that instead.
Oh, for God's
but
sake.
Yeah, Jinx is going to be the main issue. So they can shut her down in lane as well with the Thresh. That hook lands. Going to be able to win that way. So there's a lot of pressure. I want to see a pristine lane phase. I mean, you said game 1, no deaths on this AD carry. So if that keeps up, Dorado Gaming can win this.
Well, the problem for Dorado is they've showed their hand very early on that Jinx is going to be the focus of the gold, of the attention, of protection. But how much can you actually protect against Gwen, Vex, Belveth. The roams from Vex are going to be so important in this game. The Thresh, the hooks, are they going to land? So many questions, so many micro that's going to be on point. Can't wait for this one. This one is going to be exciting. Dorado, under the cosh, have to turn it around, or Rubber Ducky Gaming are going to cement their place as Conqueror's #1 seed going into playoffs. To find out if that happens, stick around. We'll see you right after this.
Yo, what up? Lamb, I think the stream is on. Can you see right now? Do we unintended viewers right about now?
Yeah.
No, seriously, look at the stream.
The stream? Oh,
Yeah, look at the stream.
we're live?
I don't know if we're live. I want to ask you to check. That's what I'm asking for.
We're
Look,
live.
Lucan, you didn't say anything.
Live. Okay.
Lucan didn't say a single thing. Didn't ask for any confirmation. Didn't ask for any confirmation. We didn't say a single word. All right, Lamb, you have some news for us.
Yeah, let me do it. So breaking news, other than me and Crims not knowing that we were live, is that Dorado actually FF that game. So Rubber Ducky Gaming going to be your first seed going into playoffs. Unfortunate circumstances. Not really what we wanted to happen. We wanted to cast some League of Legends for you, but it is what it is, Crims, right? It is what it is. So with that being said, guys, we're going to call it short. It's it's been a pleasure to cast the game tonight. And
it's sad and disappointing, Lamb. Let's admit it. It's sad and disappointing.
It's sad and disappointing, but I mean, these things happen. I mean, playoffs are coming up, so hopefully we don't see anything like that happen again. But regardless, thank you for everybody who's tuned in tonight, and we'll see you next time Titan rolls around.